Okay, so we are still here on how to create new customer on the system. Let me just quickly recap that. We said you input the customer name. You create if you have a list of category already in the system, you would choose from the list of category. But if you don't have, you create a new category by clicking on add new category. Okay, so that should give you the chance to add a new category. Okay, and I mentioned to you that you can also impute the opening balance of that customer. But the emphasis is that I mentioned that you should have a cutoff date across board for all the customers while bringing them in the system. You can impute the postal date, the postal address, and I said postal address can be different from the delivery address. The postal address can be the headquarters address, where the delivery address can be like a subsidiary or a branch. The essence is that you can decide to send the company's policy might be that the head office pays for all invoices, whereas delivery of product goes into the branches. That's why you are having this here. Okay, so I haven't done that. I said if you have typed in the postal address, you don't have to type it to the delivery address. You can just click on copy from postal address. Okay. You can impute contact name, impute the email address, phone number, and what have you. I mentioned to you that the statement distribution method can be two ways, either print or email, or you can do both together. If you click on only email and then you did not impute the email address of that customer, it will flag you that you need to impute that email address. Now, if you have a default discount to that particular customer, you can impute that default discount, let's say like a 5% discount. And then, do you have any pricing? So now, if you remember vividly during our last class, we created different price lists. Okay, so you can decide to choose. You can decide to choose what price list you are using. So whether it's corporate price list or individual prices. But because this customer is a corporate customer, I'm choosing corporate price list. Okay, then default part. If there's a VAT, I choose your with 0, so I'll choose 0. Okay, and then I would save it. So okay, so that's how to create a new customer. I like to quickly do something. I just realized that our method might not actually work properly. We have just created the customer, and the next thing that we should do is to go to customer transactions. Okay, but we can't go to customer transaction if you don't have items on the system. So this is what I'm going to do. We will change the model of this training, right away because it's not the better approach. So we have created a customer. What I will show you now is how to create a supplier, and it's easy. The way you create a customer is the same way you create a supplier. Okay, so let me just show you how to do that. If you click on this supplier, you will click on add. So it's the same thing as the customer, literally. Okay, so let's take for instance that our supplier is who can be our supplier? Our supplier is let's say our supplier is ShopRite, and then just as that of the customer, you can create different categories for your suppliers. So I'm creating this as a mall. Okay. So it's same thing as the customer. You can impute your opening balance, and then you put the cutoff date of that opening balance. Okay. Now, you can also do credit limits. I don't know why I skipped this during the customer part, but it's the same thing. You can do a credit limit. What credit limit means is so that your supplier might give you credit limits. What it means is that it could say the vendor or supplier could say, if you buy up to 500,000 worth of products, you don't have to pay until maybe another 1 or 2 months. Okay, it means that it literally means that if you if you buy up to that amount, you cannot buy more than that again until you pay. Do you understand? So if I buy, let's say I go to Fisher-Price to buy laptops worth of 500,000 naira, okay, I don't have to pay until another 1 month. But if I need to buy something extra, then I will have to offset my previous credit before buying the extra thing. So per time, my limit with the value of product I can get from the supplier without payment is 500,000 naira. If I want to buy more, I have to liquidate what I have previously. Okay, that's how it works with credit limit. I think we should just try one. Let's say this is 500,000 naira. Okay, so at the point of transaction, you will see what I'm trying to talk about. So same thing here. Postal address could be different address, and then so let me use 32. What's Ikeja? Yeah, let's just say 32. What's that Ikeja address now? 32 allows something allows bus stop Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. Okay, so the same thing with your creating customer. You can just click on copy from postal address, and that's the physical address you find there. You know, the head office might actually be different from where you go to pick up products from. So you can have that. So who is their salesperson? You know, for customer, this contact is the procurement officer, or might be anybody. But because that's the person that is coming to buy from you now, so it is by logic supposed to be their procurement officer. Okay. But for a vendor, that's supposed to be their salesperson. That's supposed to be their salesperson. So because that person is one selling to you, that's supposed to be their salesperson. All right. So let's say who is their salesperson? Akinwande Omowumi. Let's believe that name is a made-up name. Okay, so somebody should give me his email address. I want to use it for this vendor. Please drop your email address on the chat. I want to use it for this vendor. Vendora. One person, please just drop your email address. Thank you. Tumashe, thank you so much. Okay. So I'm copying it, pasting it here. Somebody should please drop their, don't worry, that's not important. Phone number is not important. So I'll just use phone number. This is still use my phone number. So mobile, not important. Fax, you have it, drop it there. If you have the email address, you can input it. Okay, now notice that this one is not asking for statement distribution method. The reason is because, of course, you are not sending statements to your vendor, and they don't expect to send statements to you. So that's not important here. Now, if they give you a discount, a default discount, you can input it here, but let's say they didn't give us discount, they are stingy. Okay. If they have a default VAT, you input default VAT here. Okay. and then due date for payment. So how long do they give you? Up to what period is the allowance that they've given you to always make payments anytime you purchase from them? So let's say it's 1 month. So you look for the 1 month. Say days from date of invoice, days of current, day of current month, day of the following month. So here's the day of the following month. That's 1 month. Okay. Then you click on save. No, day of the following month is not 1 month though. What I want to do is end of the month, day from the end of the invoice. I want to do days from the date of invoice. So how many days? 30 days. 30 days. So that's 1 month. Okay, so you can study this and see how they work out, right? Then I save this. So that's how to create a supplier. So this is what we've done today. We've created a customer who is Dangote. We've created a supplier who is ShopRite. Now let's create an item. Okay, let's create an item and see how that goes. So I click on the same thing. When we came to customer, you did add the customer. When we came to supplier, you did add the supplier. When we came to item, is add an item. What do we ask me? But when we were in suppliers, it's add this. I mean, when we were in customer, it's add a customer. Supplier, add a supplier. When we got to item, what is saying add an item instead of add a item? You miss your English teacher to explain that though. I'm just kidding. So for the what's it called now? For items, you will have to input a code. Now, unlike the customer and the supplier, where we didn't have to input any code, for the items, you have to input a code. And that's because you might want to keep track of your inventory using unique codes, because you can have the same name for a lot of items. And that's going to be rare for customers and suppliers, but for items, it's almost oftentimes happening. So what are we going to be selling though? Let's say we want to be selling HP products, okay? So let's say we do HP 001 for all my shoe plug and bag plug and canvas plug and t-shirt plug and all. You know what you create now. So if you are selling a shoe, if you are selling shoe on Instagram and all, you can just put SH001 or what have you, right? So that's how it works. But for me, I want to be selling computers, and because I like HP so much, I want to start with HP, right? So let's say I choose HP Pavilion. Okay, so category, what category of items this be? To be computers, yeah. I've explained what category is like to you guys now, so I don't have to go back again. So for you guys that are selling, say, shoes and all, you can call it wares. For those selling food items, you can call it food or what have you. So your category should be is dependent on what you feel should be appropriate. Okay. Now, good thing about the software is that you when we refer to items, we don't necessarily refer to physical items. Sometimes we refer to service items too, because you want to sell services too, right? You sell services too. So the system allows you to create this item you are creating. It allows you to determine whether it's a physical item that is quantifiable or it's a service item. Now, service items are services that you get out to people, like this training and wedding to you guys now is a service, right? So I should be able to raise an invoice to our president at the end of the day, say, look, I don't change your guys, when I come pay me money, right? So you can create service items on the system too. If you get a service item, notice what happened here. This is what happened with opening quantity and then the date. Because it's a service item, there's no quantity now, right? So it will take it off. But of course, there can be opening cost, which is not important. So for quantities, for physical items, it requests for quantities. But we are not going to use anything. Just so I want to make sure that we start the process from scratch and then run all transactions through the end. That's what we're going to do. Okay. But then let's determine the price for this item. So how much are they selling the HP Pavilion Core i7? Core i7. What is 1 terabyte HDD. That's 1 terabyte hard drive, right? Or 1 terabyte hard. I think it's just HD. Okay. So how much do you think we'll be selling this kind of soft computer? I think it's going to worth about 350,000. Okay. Now notice this guy here saying exclusive selling price. What does this mean? It was exclusive selling price. It means it is excluding VAT from that price, from that selling price. It's excluding VAT. 7.5% VAT is not a part of that. Selling price. But if 7.5% VAT is actually a part of that 350, you just copy that 350 and drop it at the inclusive selling price. So it automatically calculates the exclusive selling price. So the same automatically calculates your VAT for you, as you move on. So what's the cost? What's the actual cost of the item? So the actual cost can be around, like, how much did you buy it from the manufacturers or from wholesale? Let's say the actual cost was about 250,000 naira. So if you look at what's going to happen now, the actual cost is 250,000 naira. The selling price is, let's do 350. No, let's do 325. This is the selling price, exclusive of VAT. Inclusive of VAT is 350. Look at what's happening here. Our gross profit is 23.21%. It means we are making a huge profit from this. So in the gross profit amount is what is 75,000 naira. Now, of course, you notice we will not show on our trial balance yet because we have not exactly done any transaction. This is just resetting, creating the item. Okay. So what's your VAT on sales? Is it 7.5? Or are you going to use the withholding tax? Of course, not withholding tax, 7.5. That's what we're using currently in Nigeria. Okay, then VAT on purchase is also 7.5. Okay, pay attention to this, guys. Pay succinct attention to this. Item account. Now, I'm sure as an accountant, your body go down you say, you don't be talking about trial balance, chart of account, and all on this system. What's going on? What's this guy? This guy doesn't know anything. Doesn't know what he's doing. Okay, we'll get to that level where I'll show you chart of account. However, I wanted to show you something. I mentioned to you last week, I showed you how to every transaction you raise, there's always a double entry that is passed. And then I also gave you an assignment last week to figure out the double entries that happen when you pass one transaction, right? And I've said some of you have sent me the assignment. So here is where what I mentioned to you. When I said what happens is that the system automatically does the debits and credits for you and the double entry for you automatically. You don't have to be the one to worry. But at the point of setting up every item, you have to be the one to input the accounts that should be debited and credited at the point of setting up the SM. After setting up now, you don't have to bother about it ever again. So let's assume now for this item, it's an HP computer. What is the sales account that should be credited? Or there's a general sales account, which is sales. But so that we'll have detailed, what's it called now? Detailed reporting. We can try to create a sales account for maybe computers generally, or we can say HP computers. And I think I want to say HP computers. So I'll click on here, click on add new sales account, and say HP computers. Okay. Now the same thing for the purchase. Okay, your purchase account, which is your inventory in this context. What do you want to create? So we want to say it is HP computers, HP computers inventory. Purchase. So you save it. All right. So we know that every time I'm selling a product, the sales account that will be credited will be HP computer sales. And anytime I'm buying a product to store, the account that will be debited will be HP computer inventory or purchase as well. Okay, when you are done with this, you save it. You entered an opening course without an opening. Okay, so there's an error here. I entered an opening course without an opening balance. So let me remove the opening course because I'm not imputing any opening quantity. So let's save this. So take this as an assignment. Create across board. What I've taught you today, I want you to create all of them. One, create 5 customers on your software. Create 5 customers, create 5 suppliers, and then create 5 items. Then lastly, create 5 bank accounts. I'll show you how to create bank accounts now. Okay, create 5 bank accounts. Okay. Yes. Create let me write it down for you. 1. Create 5 customers. 2. Create 5 suppliers. 3. Create 5 bank accounts. And then create 5 items. 5. I know you've done that. I've seen what you've done, but let me just type this. Yeah, and because I want to also paste it on the group chat. Okay. Okay. So that's that. So let's move on. So that's how to. So we've hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so
yes, I can hear you.
Thank you. I looked out my computer. I'm trying to share again. Can you see my screen?
I think I have a question to ask, please.
Yeah, please go on.
Okay, now, so if we create a customer or supplier, item or bank, so is there a way we can go back to them and edit what we've done?
Oh, that's a very beautiful question. Yes, you can go back and edit what you've done. I'll just show you how to do that in a bit.
Okay, thank you.
that was supposed to be what I wanted to touch on after I'm done with all the process. But yeah, just let me be done with all the process first. Then I'll show you how to modify all the things you've created. Okay, so we've created an item. Now we want to create a bank. So click on bank, add a bank or credit card. Okay, so what's your bank account name? Me, I have a bank account name. You don't have. Go and find your bank account name. Scale up NG. That's my bank account name. So it's corporate. It's corporate. So you can have individual bank account or corporate bank account, whatever you want to do. Default payment method should be electronic fund transfer. It could also be cash, it could be check, it could be credit card. But I mean, this is 2023. All of us are using transfers now. Imagine buying something of 40,000 naira and you're raising check. I mean, who does that? Zenith Bank, against what all of you feel about Zenith Bank. So Zenith Bank is my bank, and then I've forgotten my account number. Very lovely. So let me just assume that my account number is 0601 638 6317. Okay, then branch name, that's where Atiola Dekun. That's my branch name. So I assume you're also setting up the same thing. Okay, I've seen my account number. My account number actually is 12284811514. Okay, that's it. Opening balance, I said you shouldn't put anything. And it's my default account. So anytime I want to make transaction, that's the default account I'm using. Then you click on save for creating that bank account. Okay, so click on save. Now let me say this. This is so in case of some of you that are planning to Japa, and then you get to the UK or to the US, and then what you are asked to have the knowledge, what you are required to have the knowledge of is stage accounting. Stage accounting in those regions are actually integrated with your bank automatically. I mean, like seamlessly. I'm saying that it's integrated so much that every transaction, every transfer you do on your bank account automatically shows here on the software. That also happens with QuickBooks. It will automatically show here that you have done a transaction. The next thing you just have to do is to confirm that that transaction is valid and then post it. Okay. This scale up, I think I even want to put Zenith Bank in front of it, but I'm not modifying now. I'll modify later. So I just talked about viewing your chart of accounts earlier, right? So we want to look at a typical chart of accounts on the system and how you can add an account, delete an account, or what have you. Then we'll go back to modifying all the records that we've made. So this is account. Because if you want to add an account, but before we add an account in this regard, let me first show you the account itself. A chart of accounts that you know on system is called list of accounts. You see the same thing. Chart of account, list of accounts, you see the same thing. Okay, so click on it. The system will show you a default chart of accounts. Now, you remember that we created HP computer sales when we were trying to add an item. In that part where it shows item account, we created this HP computer. So it automatically came to sit down here, okay, under sales category. Okay. And then we also created what's it called now? What's it called now? We also created HP purchase. Okay. So that's what you have. So this is it is a typical account on system, a typical chart of account. So it has all the categories that you would expect that a normal chart of account should look at. Let's look at it together. So it has sales, cost of sales, other income, expenses. Those are the accounts category. Expenses, expense is always long, yeah, long. Then you have income tax, you have non-current assets, current assets, and then you have non-current liability, current liability, owner's equity. Yeah, that's it, owner's equity. So that's the account that you have. So you can add accounts yourself. Okay. Now you can come on the fly here, click on add an account, and take it to adding an account. Or you can, what if you're already on the list of accounts here, which is your chart of account, you can click on add an account here. So this time it shows you whether you want to add a normal account, an item account like we did. So it's either a sales or purchase. So it's either sales or purchase here. Okay. We've done that earlier already while we're creating items, right? Okay, and the last one that is here is create a bank. So this one shows you what we created here, and then what we are trying to create here. But this is what we want to work on. So let's assume that I want to create a new type of expense. So what of expense should we create? Let's create. I know there will be traveling and expense there already. Traveling and transport and traveling expense already. So let me say we want to create accommodation. Accommodation. I'm sure entertainment is part of the default. What kind of expense can we create? What kind of expense can we create? So let's create cleaning. Cleaning expenses. Okay. So we look at the category of expense. I mean the category of accounts. You see sales, cost of sales, other income, expenses, income tax, non-current assets, current assets, non-current liability, current liability. Then I'm sure the last would be equity. Okay, that's owner's equity. But what we are creating is cost of, expenses. I click on expenses. Is there a default VAT is no, because it's an expense. I'm not passing my expense. And I'll just see. So it's as simple as that. Creating an account is really as simple as what you are seeing right now. So I click on save. So I have shown you from customer to supplier to inventory to bank to account, right? So I've shown you how to create all these we call them master files. Okay, so we call this what we have created, we call all of them master files. You ask me why they are master files. They are base files. They are, if you don't create those things, you are not able to run any transaction whatsoever. So our president asked a very valid question earlier. Can you modify what you have created already? And the answer is yes, you can modify what you have created already. So let's go to customer. So I go to list of customer. Okay, so this is Dangote that we created earlier. To modify it, you can just click on this. You can just click on the name. Anywhere you see, if you check a list of master files, right? And then you see a blue, you see any of the description that is blue, that is what you can click on to open it. Because if you look at this corporate now, if I click on corporate, it won't open anything. If I click on balance, it won't open anything. If I click on name, it won't open anything. But if I click on Dangote Nigeria, because it's blue, it means that there's a link there, right? So it will open it for you. So yeah, you can edit what you have already done. So you can change this Nigeria to limited. Just saying, but it's not limited PS. Yeah, the part of credit limits that I mentioned earlier is here. So let's say Dangote is 1 million naira. The guy is a quick man, he get money. 1, 2, 3. So okay, but yeah, I didn't mention sales rep earlier. So you can also add sales rep to every customer. So what does this mean? If you are a company that has people that sell for you and you pay them commission, okay, you can map a sales rep to every customer. So that means that to every time that customer buys from you, that sales rep has a percentage that he or she is getting from that sale. So let's assume that there is a sales rep to this customer, and Ola is the sales rep to this guy. Let's just say Ola is the sales rep. Maybe he has the phone number. Maybe he has, I don't know. Let's just say it's Ola. Okay. So I will show you an interface where you see all your sales rep and how you can determine their commission. So yes, you can modify what you have already created on the system, and then you can delete it also. You can delete it, you can make it inactive. So let me go back there. I'm not going to attempt to delete because we've not done anything on it. But you can delete it, okay. And this, okay, let me change this part to PLC. Now you can make it inactive. Inactive will mean maybe you are no longer running transaction with that customer, and they are already transaction on the system. Now the thing is, you cannot delete anything that already has a transaction in it. So this Dangote is now, I can delete it because I have not passed any transaction. I hope you guys are following. I can delete Dangote because I've not passed any transaction on it. Okay. But as soon as there's a transaction on it, I cannot delete. How do you delete? You just come to this action, you see delete here, you can delete. So you see, you can do edit instead of clicking this blue icon, blue link here, you can come to this action and then do edit. Yeah, but it's always the same thing. So you see what we have on this action, we have edit, we have delete, we have add invoice, add code, add sales order, add receipt, view statement. We're going to get that in the next class. We are going to get to that in the next class, but for now, let's just sit pretty right here. Okay. So that's that. So I wanted to show you for customer, I wanted to show you the list of your sales reps. So I just created one earlier, and that's Ola. So that's this Ola here. Now you can be able to see if I edit Ola, I can be able to see Ola's personal information. Okay. I'm not sure if we indicated to run commission-based sales reps. Let me quickly check something. Yes. If you come to company settings, let me see if we set up that sales rep should be getting commission. And I come to general settings, customer and supplier settings. Second default customer selection. Okay, I'll figure that out later. But yeah, you can see your sales reps, and if you view your reports, you are able to see all the transactions that a sales rep has been involved in, and you can also see your list of categories. Okay, we created a category earlier. We created a corporate category. You can decide to add more categories. I want to add individual category. Individual. Okay. Now, if I add this individual category, okay, In creating my customer, I can now see that individual category on the system. So, we created corporate earlier. This is where we created corporate from, okay? And then we can see it here. And then I created individual category on the list, and yes, I can still see it. So anything you create on any interface, best believe you will find it anywhere you need it, okay? So that's that about customer list. So we've seen that if you click on list, you see list of customers, list of sales rep, and then list of categories, okay? Same thing applies to supplier. If you come to supplier, come to list, you see list of suppliers. So click on list of suppliers, you can edit the suppliers. So you can either click on this, the name of the supplier, or you can come to actions and see where to edit. You can delete, you can raise a purchase order, raise a supplier invoice, or do a payment. But what we are trying to do here is to edit. So you can edit, you can say Shopify mall. Okay? And yeah, and save it. You can, whatever you want to edit, you can edit them. Come back to supplier, come to the list, you can see supplier category. So we created more earlier. Let's just create something else. So let's say we create just saying, I said to create as many as possible. But of course, it's not part of the assignment. So you see, food is now a part of this category now. So same thing to item. If you come to list, you see list of items, list of bundle items, and list of item categories. What does this mean? This bundle item, I know you know list of items already. If I click on it, you know it will take me to this, and I can now, unlike that of customer and supplier, where it is their name you click to edit, but here it's the code that you click to edit. And of course, you can always come to actions and edit it here too, and then you can delete. But there was something we saw earlier that let's share with, let's put to you. List of bundle items. So you asked me, what does this mean? So sometimes, especially for those of you that used to do Valentine package, Christmas package, some package, yeah, Amber dog. You can put a couple of items together to form a bundle, and that will become that's your package that you're doing. What does this mean? It means, so let me quickly create another item. So what I created earlier was laptop. So what else can I create? So let's say I create a mouse. So now be the code for mouse now. MS. Just use MS. What is spelling of mouse? M-O-U-S-E. Yes. It's still part of computers, right? So I choose computers. It's physical, doesn't have blah blah blah. I think last time I bought a mouse, it was about 850. I'm not sure if that's changed. Is it remote mouse? Is it a wireless mouse? A wireless mouse. Let's do wireless mouse. That's about 3,000 naira. Depending on the kind of mouse. You can buy it for 8,000 naira if you so think you have the money. Okay, so the sales is also computers. But you can create computer accessories if you want. So you see, because I already created that HP computer inventory and sales, so I can use it for any other item I create if I want to. Okay, or I can create a new one if that item it has a different category. But what I'm trying to achieve here eventually is, let's say for this Easter now, I can say Easter bonanza. Buy an HP and get a free mouse together with it. When I do that, that's a bundle. So I come here and I do item bundle. So in selling that, I can add an item bundle and call it computer package. It's a code bundle. So let's say comp. Here. So the first item is the computer itself. How many quantity? One quantity. Second, it's the can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Sorry, I think. Well, what was the last thing I said that you heard? What was the last thing I said that you heard? Please let me know.
I think you were trying to do the item body.
Okay, all right.
That's
Item body code.
Okay, great. Okay, item body code. Oh, really? So yeah, you input the code. So this time around, I'm doing a computer bundle. I want to do Easter computer package. Get one, buy one, get one free. Something like that. Just so I say computer bundle, something like that. Yeah. So the first one is the HP itself, and then the free that will come to it is the mount. Okay, so I'll click on save. So that has created this those two items as one, on the system. So I'll show you when we want to raise a sales transaction. I'll show you how that works out eventually. But don't take this as manufacturing, guys. Don't think it is say if you put raw materials together, they will not become that this bundle is not the finished good. That's not how it works. So it's not manufacturing. So don't consider it as manufacturing. Okay, manufacturing is not on this system because this system is just one of the base softwares. It's not that robust to take care of manufacturing. Okay, let's move on. So we've created that. And of course, you know your item category too. If you click on it, you see computer. So just like for the supplier and the customer, you can also add another category here. So let's say I'm adding Sage services, or say Sage training. But yeah. So that's it. And of course, you can always edit whatever you have created anytime, any day. That doesn't, if you raise a transaction, you can see edit in with the information on the system. Okay. So the same thing also applies to bank. Come to the list, you see list of banks and credit cards, which is list of banks generally. You can see the category, earlier I created corporate, but you can create also create an individual bank. In your own context, corporate and individual might not be the kind of bank you want to create. It might also be, say, credit bank. No, not credit, but that's not what they call it. They call it it's overdraft. So you can call it either an overdraft type of bank or the usual type of bank, or you can also call it maybe it's a current account you created or savings accounts or what have you. Whatever way you want to categorize your banks, you can do it to categorize in that manner. I wanted to update my bank earlier, so I'll go to list of bank. I thought it was important for me to add Zenith Bank in front of it. So say so that when I'm trying to use a transaction, I can know that scale up NG is a Zenith Bank account because I have for Wema also and they carry the same name, so that should make it different. Okay, so we've been able to create what we refer to as master files and system. We created customers and their categories and also sales reps. We created, so I'm saying what we're able to do is to create customers, we created sales reps and also created category. Under supplier, we created suppliers and categories. Under item, we created items, created item bundles, and we have their categories created also. Under banking, we created banks, we created the categories being corporate and individual. Yeah, that's what we did here. Now, this bank statements mapping rules is the automatic, it is the feature that helps the automatic transaction integration that I explained earlier. I said if you integrate this software to your bank, you can automatically find any transfer or any transaction you do, either any transfer out or any credits that you receive from someone. You can automatically find them on the system if you follow this bank system mapping rules well. So what does that mean? You can decide to say for every, say, for every, try to do a sales now. So for everything, for every credit that comes in and there is sales in it, they're saying such statements for such bank statement for. So if they say if there's anything called sales on my bank statement, it should automatically regard it as it should automatically credit this sales account. Now who is the payee? Let's say Kunle is the payee. And then accounting display description. So you say sales of products. This way it should display on my system. Okay. And then if you save it, so the next time you raise any transaction, and then let's say the next time if someone sends money to you and another person includes sales in the description of that credit, right? It should automatically pick it as a sales for you in the system. Another one is if you say, now let's now say this is even supplier. So let's continue with account first. I'll get to that part of supplier. So let's say if you are running an expense, and the expense you are running is electricity and water. Okay, and then you tell the system to say, anytime you are sending money out, and then you impute the word electricity, the system will automatically debit this electricity account. Who is the person? I'll see the person paying the money. I'm the payee. So this payee here means the person that is actually making that expense. So what should the system automatically write for you? You should say payment for electricity. So now that's the mapping rule, guys. If this software was integrated with your bank, okay. Another one that you can do that is smooth is that if you purchase something from a supplier, oftentimes than none, right? And that supplier is ShopRite. So anytime you are paying that supplier, right? Anytime you are paying that supplier, and then you write ShopRite in your transfer description, the system will automatically pick it that you are paying this supplier, and you say payment to supplier. So you see how smooth this system can actually work. Okay, so the same thing refers to customer. In case that customer is what's it called now? Paying into your account. You can just tell the customer to, at every point in time they are sending you money, they should add Dangote. They should add Dangote, whatever description they want to add. You should make sure that they put Dangote in that description, so that as soon as the system sees Dangote in your description, it will automatically debit it against, or yes, against this supplier as a customer receipt. So you say customer receipt. Dangote. If you save this, okay, so where you'll be seeing those automatic transactions, you will come to banking transaction. All of them will come to be sitting here automatically. It's going to be sitting here automatically. Let me check something. 15 minutes. Okay. Banking fees is not yet active for this. Okay. Okay, so yeah, this is it. This is what I'm trying to say. So if you want to begin to feed information from your transaction, so see what I'm saying. With Sage Bank Fees connected, Sage Accounting regularly checks your online bank account for new activities and downloads transactions automatically. So this, if you want to do the integration, unfortunately, these things don't work in Nigeria. I don't know why that stuff is happening. It doesn't work properly in Nigeria. Okay, so you can continue and do the setup. Coming up. Let me see what is okay, coming up. It's saying connect your bank. So search your bank. This is where the bottleneck will not be. It's your bank. First Bank. Show us First Bank now. So that's the no existence for First Bank. Guarantee Trust Bank. How is Guarantee Trust Bank? How is Guarantee spelled? Guarantee Trust Bank. So this is the issue we have with Nigerian banks. They are not available for this software. But as I said, if you go, if it is like, let's say, who can give me a US bank? I'm trying to remember now. Not Jais. What this bank is like? His name is, let me just give it for one bank. Okay, that's just for a bank that we can. Chase, yes, Chase. Okay, for one reason, Nigeria Chase is also not here. Yes. Okay, but I mean, if for any reason you want to do this integration, we can always Wells Fargo. Okay. Yeah, that goes. Okay, I can't find that here. I assume this is happening because I didn't even expect it to work in the first instance. I assume this is happening because it's a demo. Yeah, Bank of Africa, Bank of America, yes. I assume it's not happening because it's a demo account. It's a trial account. That's why I assume it's not working. But it does integrate with other banks. I have a friend in the UK that's using Sage Accounting and integrated into a bank. Okay, so let's move on. Let's just assume that my software don't shame me. I don't use them. But basically, where were we? We were here, right? We were here. We were here. Yeah. I was trying to show you this. So that's how this mapping is done. So if the mapping is done correctly, and then you're able to integrate your bank to the software, it will automatically feed this software with the information that come from your bank. So you always, at every minute, go check transactions on your what's called on your mobile app, and then record it on the system. Okay, yeah, that's it. So let's move on. Then for our accounts, so we see list of accounts and item accounts. Of course, by now we should know what list of accounts means. It means the chart of accounts. Okay, and item accounts means the sales and purchase accounts that we create for inventory for our items. Okay. So before we call it a day, let's quickly run one transaction. We want to purchase mouse and an HP laptop. So I click on. So how do we do that? We'll go to our supplier, and then come to transaction, and then so let's start it from the beginning. Let's create a supplier purchase order. So what I was trying to explain how a typical software works for you last week. I tried to explain. We tried to use Jumia as a scenario. How that when you go to the website and then you pick a product, and then you want to check out, that automatically becomes an order for them. Okay, so that order is what we want to create now. But for you, it is called a purchase order. For them, it's called a sales order. But if you are the one buying, it's called a purchase order. So who is the customer? We already have a customer on system. Pick the customer. See what happens. See that as I choose that customer, the physical address and the postal address that we created automatically showed there. And the credit limit also showed that we have this credit limit with this supplier. All right. So the system will automatically give you a document number. Don't attempt to modify that document number. You can, but I don't advise you to do that. Okay. So we want to go right straight to buying. However, so let me just take you through this interface. So this is the supplier name. If you have the VAT number of the supplier, you can add this. You can add this to this VAT reference. So we know the physical address and the postal address already. I explained what it means earlier on already. Okay, so the date, you input the date of the purchase order. When you input the date, it will automatically give you the next month as the delivery date. Now, if next month is too much for you, and then that's not the agreement you have with your vendor, you can always edit the date. Right. So let's say I'm ordering today. I should be able to get it next week. Now, why are you giving me next month? That's too far. So I can say give it to me on Monday. Give it to me on Monday. If you cannot give it to me on Monday, I'm not buying it. Okay. So that delivery date is on Monday. Is there a discount to it? No discount. We are not worthy of discount. Okay, guys, pay attention to this part. It's saying use inclusive amount. If you click on use inclusive amount, it means that the amount you're going to input on this system, VAT is going to be automatically included. But if you uncheck it, it means that VAT should not be included. I'll show you how that is used. So let's choose the item we want to buy. If I click on this drop down, what's the item? It's HP Pavilion. How many do I want to buy? Let's say I want to buy 550 quantity units. So units is 1. Quantity is 50 pieces of HP Pavilion. So inclusive price, I say it is how much do you call that? 250,000 naira. Yes, I can buy it now. 12 million is small now, small money for me. Okay, so now what I was trying to explain, if you do use inclusive price, okay, it has automatically changed this to 232,000 naira because I am not the VAT. I'm saying that VAT is not included in this. But if I say VAT is, if I use inclusive, it turns it back to 250. So you capish, you understand what that means now? Okay, so let's move on. So I want to buy mouse now. Mouse is not buy mouse or people know to they buy mouse if they buy laptop. So let's say 20 and one is sold for 3,000 naira. Okay, so my total order value is 12,560,000 naira. So save it. Now you can also print this and maybe save somewhere. Okay. So this is the invoice format or the document printout layout format that I chose. You must have chosen something else. So figure out what you chose, check it yourself and see what you chose. And then you can email this directly to someone. So someone gave me, Tumishe, yes. I mean, Tunwashe gave me an email address earlier. So Tunwashe, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to send this to you as an email. You will tell us if you got it, right? So we didn't create any statement, a default statement for okay, all right, thank you, Tumashi. So let's say please find attached purchase order. You know, this is a purchase order. This is not an invoice here too. It's just an order. I'm just making an order here. And myself and who else wants to give me who else wants to volunteer his email address? I want to put it in the PCC email. That's to blind copy you in this email. Just give me your email address. Someone should take your email address. Notice something, everyone. Notice something. Okay, thank you, Olamilekon. Notice something, everyone. When we were doing our company setup, I asked the system to always automatically copy me in every transaction, every email I send. You say it's a liar. You think I'm lying? I'm not lying. I'm not joking. So can you guys see my second screen? Can you see my second screen? Can you see my you can see the settings, right? Yeah, good. So you can see where under the setting I said cc olakunle@gmail.com. So it automatically CC'd me in this mail I want to send out. Okay, so that's a good thing. So I email this report. So it will go to all these persons. Email functionality is currently disabled. Oh, because it's trial version. Oh, unfortunately, that cannot happen. I'm sure that's the issue we also had with that's bank feed. However, just so you see what I'm trying to say, let me log out and use my own But let me save this though. I think we are done here. Let me save this. Where am I logging? Am I logging as only? Let me quickly show you on my live, on my let me show you on my live software. Let me log out from this. Okay, and log in using my actual software. Here's the login. So this is my work and this is my play environment. So let me just quickly raise that transaction from here, just to show you how that email functionality works. Okay. So let me quickly send you this document. Okay. So I can email this. So I do email. So I'll send to those email addresses again. So I didn't set up this one to CC me. So okay, someone should please dig up one last email address so that I can CC you. I hope you know what CC means this time around. Is to copy you. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Oh, yes. Okay, so one thing I didn't mention earlier. Tumashi, please send me your email address. Sorry, my chat cleared. Tumashi, please send me your email address again. So one thing I didn't mention to you is that you can actually copy as many people as possible on this email interface. Literally copy as many people as possible on this email interface. And I'll show you how. So I copy Tumashi's email address and I put comma here and paste hers. Trust me, everyone will get this. So say find attached. And I email. Okay, so in the next 1 minute or two, guys, please check your email and tell us if you can find that purchase order on your email address. Okay, so let's go back to the test environment. That's my info. Oh, Ayomide has gotten it. Someone has gotten it. Okay, so that's how you see how smooth that is. See how smooth that is. Like you can literally send, so you don't have to now go to your email or something like that. So, and it looks professional actually. Can you share us, can you do a screenshot of what you have seen and send it to the WhatsApp group? Let's see how it looks like. All of you should screenshot what you've got and send it to the WhatsApp group. Let's see how it looks like. I think it should be, if I'm not mistaken, it should look as though it's coming from your company. And that company, in this context, it should be Ola. In this context, it should be Ola Kunle and Co. Please send it to the group, and we are waiting. Let's all see how it looks like together. Was I copied? I'm not copied that. I would have shared I didn't copy myself. We are waiting actually, guys. We are waiting. Please send on the group chat. Let's see how that looks like, and then we move on. So now, while we are waiting for the screenshot, that's how to create a purchase order. Now, I was trying to explain, and then if you come back to now, I created that purchase order, but we cannot find it, right? If you come back to your supplier, come to transactions, then click on purchase orders, you would see that transaction sitting pretty waiting for you. Okay. Oh, thank you. You sent it to the chat platform. I actually meant you send it to, but okay, you guys can just download it and look at how it looks like. Unless you send it to the WhatsApp, but it's also fine. So guys, you can download this and look at how it appeared. Or let me just so yeah, good one. So let me share my screen with you and you guys see what it looks like. So this is Tumashi's email inbox, and then it has from Scale Up NG. That's the name of of course, of my company, and that's what I set up on that other environment. So you're saying, so it means that Scale Up NG sent this to you as a being my supplier. It looks very professional. You have received a purchase order from Scale Up NG, and then it now shows what I typed. Please find attached the purchase order, and it says generated by what accounting. So that's the software accounting. If Twashe clicked on this purchase order on this document down here, it should show you the order itself. Okay, please mute your mic. Thank you. So that's how lovely accounting is. I mean, that's how lovely Sage accounting. So this is the purchase order sitting pretty here. Okay. If you want to edit it, you can edit if you want to edit, because it's still a purchase order. It's not yet an invoice. It's an invoice that you cannot edit. So you can still edit this if you want to edit. Once you make changes, you can make changes. Now, you will then ask yourself, so at what point in time will this convert to sales? Okay, let's look at our report. I don't want to show reports yet, but yeah, let's look at our report. And that's going to be trial balance. I want you to notice that there is no entry yet. But yes, thank you too much for showing us how that report, purchase order looks like on the charge group. Thank you, that makes sense. So if you look at our trial balance, you see that there is no entry yet. Why is there no entry? You see that it's 0 because we have not done any entry whatsoever. That purchase order we made, I've explained to you in the last class that it does not have any double entry. Am I correct? I mentioned that in last class. Purchase order entries, 2 of them, or sales order, they don't have any double entry. So you will not find any double entry here. Okay, so let's go back to our supplier transaction. So you now ask yourself, at what point in time will this transaction have double entries? At the point when you convert to an invoice. And how do you convert it to an invoice? You can either open the transaction itself, click on options, and then do create invoice. Okay, or you can at this interface, at this level here, you can just click on actions and then do create invoice. Okay, you click on the create invoice. After this invoice, trust me, we will call it today. You are creating a supplier invoice from the purchase order. Yes, purchase order status will change to invoice. Yes, I know. So click on yes, and it will automatically create it as an invoice. So you don't have to do anything. Now, what you can do this time is that maybe this order was maybe this time around you are not collecting everything at the same time. You want to collect a bit of it. Maybe let's say 25 and then 25 pieces of computers and 10 pieces of mouse. So the remaining will be waiting on the order. So if I save this now, I can also email this. Now we have this knowledge already, so I don't want to bother you about it. But this is going to look like as your invoice. Okay. So I don't want to bother you about the email already. I assume that you understand how that works now. But yes, you can also email this invoice anywhere. So I change this to 25 now. I'm not doing okay, because I didn't save it earlier. Okay, then I save it. So saving it now, it will then be on our okay. Oh, the balance was waiting. No. Let's this one. Let's remove one. I am not creating 2 invoices. One invoice I want to create. Let's see what's going on here. She's telling me that I have completed this guy. No, I've not completed. That's and I wanted to show you this status before. I've made a mistake of creating 2 invoices at the same time. But let's reverse one. It's just one invoice I want to create. So let's do supplier return. Supplier return is like you reversing a particular invoice, and that is the same thing as credit note for customer transaction. So let me pick the supplier, and then what invoice am I returning? So say from invoice, I'll choose any of the invoice. It automatically give me the invoice information, and then I'll do save. So that's it. That's me passing that particular invoice. Okay, so I have the supplier return now. I'm not so sure, but let me see this purchase order now, whether it's invoice, because fortunately I have invoiced everything out of that place. That's the unfortunate part. What I wanted to do was to invoice a bit of it, and then you see that the remaining will still be pending, but then this has gone. Okay, so this is the invoice. So this invoice is waiting for a payment. Okay. So yeah, let's just I said we're done. Okay, so let's call it a day, guys. Let me not bug you. I wanted to do the payment immediately with it, but let me not bug you. Or please, let's do a vote. Do you want me to quickly raise the payment, or we should call it a day? If I see 3 people say we should continue with the payment, just end it with the payment, or we should end it like this. Like I see 3 people say payment. Payment is just like 1 minute away. Okay, guys, just look at something. I beg your indulgence. Just look at something. So this invoice has been created for this supplier. Okay, and then we want to make the payment. If you click on this action, okay, you can just do create payments. There are a few ways to create a payment. You can still come to supplier transaction, see supplier payments. You can see supplier payment, and then add a new supplier payment. If you add a new supplier payment, you choose the supplier. But this is a long journey anyways. You choose the supplier, choose the invoice you want to make payment on. So you click on this allocate. It automatically bring the value here, and then you process. Okay, that's the first process. The other one is that you can come to transaction, come to the invoice itself. No, I'm not processing it. Click on the invoice. Just click on the invoice, the actions here, and then click on create invoice. This one is better because it's automatically map the invoice to, or the word is match the invoice to the payment. So here you don't have to do anything major, just put the description. Payment for computer. Notice something, guys. Notice something. It automatically chose my Zenith Bank account. Why did this happen? It happened because I told the computer that my Zenith Bank account is the default account I want to be using. Yeah, that's what I said. Check something. Let me show you. Let me just quickly show you. If I have a list of, even if I have a list of bank accounts, it will always automatically pick my this one as the default, because I already ticked it here that it should be the default bank. Okay, so that's why you saw that automatically it chose the bank for me here. Okay, so there's nothing much to do here than to process this transaction, and we have come to the end of the class today. So what we have been able to achieve today is to create master files. Master files mean we created customers, sales reps and category. We created suppliers and category. We created item bundle, and then we created the item category. Then we created bank. That's a list of bank. Created bank categories, and then I showed you how the bank statement mapping looks like. We created accounts. I showed you the chart of accounts, which is also otherwise called list of accounts. Basically, and then we have done a complete supplier transaction. How did we do that? From purchase order, we converted the purchase order to supplier invoice. Then because we made a mistake on one of the supplier invoices, we did the supplier return, and then now we did the supplier payment. Now this allocate payments and supplier adjustments, I will show you tomorrow. With that, let's call it a day, guys. Thank you so much for hanging around. We will meet tomorrow by 6 p.m. Does anyone have any question? Any question on the class? Okay, in the absence of no question, I'd like to hand over the class to
Mr. Hansen.
Yes.
I think someone is asking a question in the chat.
Okay, I've just seen that. In that purchase order, what is that unit for? Okay, yeah, good question. So let's go back there. Purchase order. So the units, I also think that I must have made even a little but thank you for coming in. So the unit indicates the measure of that item. What does this mean? Is it pieces? Thank you for bringing this up. Pieces, or do you want to refer to it as, so it's like unit of measurement, or each, or let's say liter, or what else? What's the kind of measurement that we have? Kg, or I mean, what have you used? That's what this unit is for. It's actually unit of measurement, just to indicate. It's just information sake. It's not transactional. It doesn't have any implication in transaction. So I mean, so that's when you are agreeing, you can say, okay, you are talking about 50 kg, or maybe 50 pieces. For this time around, it's actually 50 pieces of. So this one is going to be pieces. So that's what it's for. Thank you for bringing me back here. I'll have given you a wrong information earlier. All the best for you. Quantity is the number of items you want to buy, the number of the laptop you want to buy. Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? So it is quantity, then pieces. So it is 50 pieces of laptop. So when they are delivering it, you are collecting 50 laptops. That's what it means. Okay, do you have any other question? If there is none, thank you guys for being a part of today's training. We will continue we will continue our next class tomorrow.
Okay.
Let me give you a screenshot. Please hold on, let me give you a screenshot of this class. Everybody say cheese. Let's hold on, Okay, thank you so much, guys. We can.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Alakule.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Hansen, for today's session. And thank you all for your participation and commitment so far. And for taking it as serious as what you could have paid for. If you have any question about the session, you can text Mr. Hansen on WhatsApp. And also information concerning tomorrow's session will be shared shortly on the group chat. Thank you, everyone, and have a good night.
Same to you, same to you.
Yeah, thank you, Latifa. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah.